All right. Good morning, guys. Um, Today, I want to talk a little bit, it's off topic, but pretty much relevant in the financial world. I want to talk about bankruptcy. Now, since the pandemic, bankruptcy has increased 16% for just the, regular people like us, right? And for businesses, 30%, which is not surprising because, the pandemic, it killed a lot of businesses. But, anyways, I wanted to cover bankruptcy since, a lot of people are going through financial crisis right now and they feel like, they have no options with certain things. So I just wanted to give you guys just a little, things that I picked up about bankruptcy. All right. So what is bankruptcy? Well, according to Investopedia, bankruptcy is the legal process where people or businesses seek relief for their debts. So, pretty much if you're unable to pay your debt, you're unable to pay your rent, your mortgage, car payment, stuff like that, credit cards, then, you may consider bankruptcy. So it's more like a fresh start. There's a lot of negative connotations with bankruptcy, but one thing that I did find out is that the main people who are pushing, that narrative about the negativity is actually credit card companies. They invest a lot of money, millions of dollars, to put out there on the internet how bankruptcy is bad and how it could ruin your life and stuff like that. But this is what I say. If you're in a position where, oh, I have something here because I'm hot from drinking my tea. Let me take the last sip. Okay, so let me say this. If you're in a position where you're even considering bankruptcy, that means that either you're about to start going into delinquency or you're already delinquent. Now, this is what I keep telling people. If you miss a payment or you stop paying your credit card and it goes as bad on your credit, it's going to stay there, okay? These people telling you, oh, I could remove this, I could remove that off your credit. If you didn't pay your credit card, it don't matter what they do. It's still going to be on your credits, okay? Up to 7 years. So trying to pay off credit cards or pay off this and stuff like that after, the fact, it's not going to make a difference. So I tell people you either file for bankruptcy or you can also do a debt consolidation. The debt consolidation it's pretty risky too. But anyways, all right, so bankruptcy. There are two types of bankruptcy that, we mainly focus on. Now, I want you guys to know there are several different types of bankruptcy, right? You got chapter 7, 9, 11, just a lot, okay? But those are mostly focusing, on the business entities, organizations, stuff like that. So the two types that mostly relate to consumers is chapter 7 and chapter 13. Now, most people file chapter 13. File chapter 7. So that's what I'll mostly focus on today. Chapter 13 is filed mostly for debt repayment. That's what chapter 13 is. So what it does, it consolidates your debt and give you like a smaller payment plan over time, right? Versus the chapter 7, you can eliminate your debt. Now, of course, there's stipulations to this and stuff like that. All right, so for chapter 7, liquidation, right? The first thing they do is they go over your assets and see if you have anything that they could liquidate to pay back these creditors something. One of the things that they'll look into is your home, right? So if you have a lot of home equity, you possibly would have to sell your home to pay off these debts. Possibly, right? If you have a lot of equity in your home, they'll probably do it. But of course, if you consult a lawyer, they could probably help with that. Now, of course, it's not just dependent on the equity. It also is it's mostly dependent on your income, right? One of the things that they do is a means test. The means test assess whether the income is low enough to qualify. So before you even try to file bankruptcy, you have to be qualified, right? And that's making sure that you're not trying to, trick the system. Okay, so let's see here. So they check the means test and stuff like that. Now, as far as down south is average 50K, right? So if you're making above 50K, certain things you're not qualified for. And in New York specifically, 60K, right? So that's what they're looking at. If you're over 60K, they're going to start looking at different things, right? Including whatever savings that you have, mutual funds, stocks, like I said, your home equity. They'll start looking into stuff like that, right? To see if there's anything that could possibly come out of it. Now, so disposable income, they look at the disposable income first. Disposable income is money left over after the taxes are paid. That's what disposable income is. Money left over after taxes are paid. Discretionary income is money left over after all necessary expenses are paid, right? So we're talking about like your rent. We're talking about car payments, food, stuff like that. That's discretionary income. If your income is too high, then you could file a Chapter 13, which a Chapter 13 is the payment plan. Okay, so you do have options. It's not like, okay, you have too much, you make too much, you can't do it. You could go to Chapter 13 and instead do a payment plan where you pay over years, so 3 to 5 years. Okay. All right, so what do they require? They require financial counseling. They just want you to have an idea of how to manage your finances moving forward, and it also gives you an idea of what exactly you're doing, right? So that's what they require. Most of your debt are discharged, right? Most of them, like we're talking about credit cards, car payments. If you can't make payments on your house, you could get rid of that, or they could, renegotiate, maybe get lower payments, right? So with Chapter 7, you could file it pretty much every 8 years. They don't want people abusing the system. So it's 8 years before you can file again. All right. So let's see here. I just want to say some more points. Now, after bankruptcy is filed, this is where people think, oh my God, my life is ruined forever. No, it's not. Matter of fact, after extensive research on the internet, I realized a lot of people are actually much better off, right? These things are discarded from your credit report. All these loans, all these credit card payments are discarded. So guess what? People are reporting after 3 to 6 months, their credit is jumping. This one lady jumped from 410 to in the 600s. Another lady was able to buy a car, brand new car, 3 months afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So it increases your credit because it takes all of that off, and now you just have one thing on your credit, which is bankruptcy. In addition to that, people who are concerned about owning a home, right? For FHA, if you're a first-time home buyer, for FHA, you could qualify for an FHA loan within 2 years after bankruptcy, and a conventional loan after 3 years. So it's nothing wrong with starting over. It's nothing wrong with getting a fresh start if you're struggling and relieving all that, stress, after, with the pandemic, a lot of people are not doing well. They're struggling. And, a lot of the banks or credit card companies, they're increasing their credit card rates and trying to make money and stuff like that. So, we got to look out for ourselves. All right. So let's say bankruptcy is not an option for you, right? You don't want to file bankruptcy. There are other things that you could do. You could opt for a few different options. You could do negotiating with the credit card companies. You let them know, hey, I don't have the money, right? So I'm willing to negotiate with you guys. Maybe a lower payment, maybe lowering the interest rate so I can pay off, my stuff. So you could call the credit card companies and let them know what's going on. As far as your home mortgage, you could call your service lender, let them know what's going on. Sometimes they'll give you forbearance. Sometimes they'll, you can not consolidate the loan, but they'll put the payments on the back end of the loan, right? So there are things that you could do to save your home also if you're not going to file bankruptcy. Forbearance, which is just what I spoke about, postponing payments for a time, right? You could do that with basically all your loans and, just talking to them. Now, what else? And even the IRS. The IRS offers compromise, right? Sometimes they'll compromise and lower the amount you owe. So these are the things that, people don't know. They'll, compromise and say, hey, okay, pay us this amount then. Or they'll give you the option for payment plans, right? So you can, if you owe the IRS a lot of stuff, a lot of money, you can call them and say, hey, I can't afford this. Can we set up a payment plan that's affordable? And they'll work with you, right? So these are not scary stuff. Filing bankruptcy is not scary. Now, most of the time when people are doing it, right, they go through a lawyer. And from my understanding, the fee is now, it could be like $1,000 to $1,500. The actual filing, if you're doing it yourself, is probably about $300 to $400 if you're doing it yourself. But they do, encourage you doing it through a lawyer because they can, give you more financial advice and stuff like that on what to do. Now, if you're interested in doing it yourself, you could go to uscourts.gov and you'll see the different kind of forms that you would need to file for bankruptcy. Okay, but I wanted to talk about that, just giving you guys hope, let you know it's not the end of the world. A lot of people are in debt, especially since the pandemic. So don't feel alone, okay? File for bankruptcy or try to get consolidate the payments so you can live a more fulfilling life, okay? Don't go stressing out about debt, right? Because honestly, we're worrying about things that is not gonna matter 100 years from now, okay? So try to make your life easy, okay? It's all about ease and fulfillment in life. So do what you can to make that better, and getting out of debt or not worrying about debt is one of them. Okay, guys, so thank you for listening, and I will get back onto Stock Talk soon. Now, another thing, a topic I wanted to talk about too was stocking your time. So that's probably gonna talk about that next. Stocking your time. So basically, how to save time throughout the day and be productive also while improving, your overall life, right? Self-improvement. So I'll probably talk about that next time, or, talk about the stocks in between. All right, guys, this is going on for almost 15 minutes. I usually do 10 because, you guys' attention span are very short. But I will see you guys soon. Bye.